I'm Louise Povlin, 12830 Stall Drive. A few weeks ago, I made a difficult decision to remove my 8th grade son from Honors Algebra 1 because he was failing the class. Many of you here on the board and in the audience might think this decision was a no-brainer. Clearly, he was struggling and was not ready for the material. That's where you would be wrong. My son did not struggle with algebraic principles. In fact, he understood what he was learning quite well. He understood the algebraic algorithms for solving linear equations and inequalities, and even understood the complexities of solving absolute value inequalities. Where he struggled was in his basic computational math. He could not remember that 24 divided by 4 was 6, not 8. That one needs to distribute the negative sign to both numbers when applying the distributive property. When I would review his homework and see these kinds of mistakes, I struggled to understand why. My older sons did not struggle this way. And then I remembered that my youngest son was handed a calculator to use in 3rd grade. He was not required to memorize his math facts in 3rd grade. By 5th grade, the calculator was used quite often. When you provide a child with a calculator too early, you rob him of his math literacy, the ability to compute numbers and manipulate them for problem-solving purposes. You failed my son by providing him with a calculator in elementary school. Out of curiosity, I pulled his TCAP scores. In 3rd and 4th grade, his scale scores placed him in the lower end of the advanced achievement level. In 5th grade, his scale score was a perfect 900, the top end of the advanced scale score range, which left me to wonder, did you sacrifice my son's proficiency in math for a high TCAP score? My son is a STEM kid. He excels in all things math and science. I realized that I could have stayed the course and helped my son push through, but I felt in my gut that he needed a year to review to solidify his number sense. I have him doing math worksheets without a calculator most days of the week, and he's reviewing all aspects of math from 3rd to 7th grade. The only reason why I was willing to do this for him is because he is zoned for high school with block scheduling, which means he will be able to double up on math and still manage to take calculus by his senior year. If he were zoned for a school without block scheduling, there would be no pathway for him to take calculus by his senior year. The inability to take calculus in high school is detrimental to a STEM kid who hopes to explore STEM degrees in college. Just for clarity, the current Common Core standards do not prepare children to take Algebra 1 in 8th grade. That leaves a lot of STEM kids unprepared for college if they are in standard schedule high schools. I will admit, I spoke to a friend of mine who currently has a 4th grader in the school my son attended. She has had a different experience. When her son entered 3rd grade, she was informed that her child would be memorizing his math facts, that this was important to his future success. I asked her son if he uses a calculator in math class. His response, only during TCAP practice. From my point of view, that's an improvement. Did you learn that short-term success comes at the expense of long-term proficiency, or does Common Core expect 3rd grade children to memorize their math facts? There isn't much I like about Common Core, but I will celebrate that if it is indeed the case. The fact remains my son and the children at his grade level paid a significant price for the experiment of calculators in elementary school. With regard to the Tennessee Ready end-of-course exams in high school, Ms. Carson so rightly stated her concern and mine that the new Tennessee Ready end-of-course tests are conducted significantly before the end of the course. The testing window for Part 1 of the end-of-course exams for Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, English, grades 9 through 11, and U.S. History begins on November 2nd, which is, by my calculation, the beginning of the 12th week of school instruction. The window for Part 1 ends on November 20th, which is the end of the 14th week of instruction. Am I to understand that the curriculum for these courses is now required to be compressed from 18 weeks to 12 to 14 weeks? What exactly do my children attend school for? To receive an education or to take assessments? Because it's becoming increasingly clear to me that the two are mutually exclusive. I can't help but wonder why this board is not outraged by this. As the parent of a Knox County high school student, I am. It is unclear to me from the quick store vote you just took whether it applies to high school assessments. The results of these state's exams should not be used in a high school student's GPA. An end-of-course exam developed by Knox County and given at the actual end of the course should be the only grade used for a student's GPA. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.